At long last, after doing some research on how Universal spent $15 million on advertising this movie alone, I guess it worked on me. Since I saw so many ads for this, my mind made me assume I might be interested in this just a little. Granted, not enough to see this in the theaters, but to watch on Peacock instead, since I do have Peacock as of today, as of when I wrote this. But regardless whether I watch this movie in theaters or at home, I should judge the movie as is. Directed by Kat Quaro and written by John Rogers, Tammy Sadker, and Harper Dill, based on the graphic novel the same name by Bobby Crosby, which based on the minute and a half it took me to look up the graphic novel, I'll assume based on how the characters' names are different that this isn't that similar to the graphic novel, so sorry for fans of the novel, I guess. Anyways, I'm not too big into rom-coms, but if they work, they work. If not, I'll skip all the terrible Hallmark movies. See, the joke is that all Hallmark movies are terrible. I've seen great romantic comedies, even those that are predictable and aren't even the funniest, can work. That, while too safe or not too bold, still make a decent movie night for its demographic. Which isn't me. But it doesn't waste 2 hours of my time on watching this brand new rom-com that's basically Notting Hill for the 21st century, but not as funny or charming. I mean, this movie's not bad, but I guess I should explain what the movie is about. The story follows the two lives of hit singer Katalina Valdez, played by Jennifer Lopez, and divorced math teacher Charlie Gilbert, played by Owen Wilson. While Catalina, or Cat for short, is excited for a live marriage to another singer named Bastian, played by Maluma, as they wrote a song together called Marry Me, they would perform together live on stage that everyone's excited to watch, except for Charlie, who can care less, as he doesn't really care for that stuff. He's more focused on his math club and his daughter Lou, played by Chloe Coleman, who now goes to her dad's school where he hopes that he can find a way to connect with her again. His friend, the school guidance counselor Parker Debbs, played by Sarah Silverman, invites Charlie and Lou to a fun night out to a concert. As Sky is ready for her to get married live on stage during her concert, she finds out that Bastian cheated on her and is now in a moment of distress, decides to go for her moment or something, or whatever. She says in some dumb speech that went on for way too long, where she spots Charlie in the audience holding a sign that says, marry me, since he was just given it to hold on to, but she has him come on stage where the two get married and their lives are changed forever. Kat decides to not let it just be a publicity stunt and wants to see her marriage to Charlie work out, as does Charlie, back as they both make big changes to their lives, and maybe if these two people from such different backgrounds get together, maybe love will triumph. This is a really predictable story that didn't once make me think it wouldn't do anything risky. In fact, I don't even know why it's PG-13, since other than one skimpy, okay, not that skimpy, maybe problematic dress love passwords might be the most inappropriate this movie gets. I don't even remember if there was even any time someone used a curse word. I've said this time and time again, but a predictable story doesn't make a bad story if done right. It's all about the execution and other factors, but I think I made my point. While I was able to figure out where this was going from the first minute, I still wanted to see it from beginning to end. This is a solid movie. Everyone is trying, and while nothing spectacular, I didn't hate it at any point. I think there was one joke I cringed towards at the end, but the worst jokes in the movie don't make me angry. I just don't care enough to get mad. And this movie has a few laughs, just not a lot. I will say I did laugh the most just because when doing a live feed thing for Instagram or something, I read someone asking, what's wrong with his nose? And that is probably the first time I'd seen someone actually mention Owen Wilson's nose in a movie. This movie has a fair share of laughs, where if you think this movie isn't for you, you're probably right. And I'll be honest, I laughed less than many times the film probably wanted me to laugh at. While it's a comedy, it isn't great. The movie's charming enough, whereas is, I did like it. While the story is nothing new, it's still done well enough since Wilson and Lopez do a good enough job where you probably know where the relationship is heading. You still want to see it happen. Never once made me think that this is more than just a performance, but it's still a charming enough performance for me to enjoy the movie. I think the best actor in this movie was Chloe Coleman, where, without spoiling the movie, there's a harsh scene that is built up in the movie where it's really sad, and when you see a reaction, it's a real bummer. But Wilson does have enough charm to make it really more powerful than it should be. I do have problems with the story, such as Wilson being divorced, but it never really impacts the story other than giving him the assumption love might not work. But his ex-wife never plays a part in the story, and when he talks about his dead mom later on, I thought it would make much more sense just to say his wife was dead and it would be hard for him to have moved on from her. And while it'd be more cliche than it needed to be, I think it could have led to more interesting story points. Then again, this is a romantic comedy and nothing more. So if a stupid scene happens, I don't really care. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is, and what it is, it's just fine. I did like the music in this movie. I might actually listen to it on Spotify afterwards. This is a movie where it might be familiar, and if it's too familiar for you, you probably won't enjoy it. I can't really praise the movie as much as I want to, since it's for sure not anything special or such. But for the 2 hours I spent watching it on Peacock, I didn't feel like I was wasting my time. And that's a huge part of, watching a movie. Not wasting my time. With that said, I give Marry Me a 6 out of 10.